3 years ago, I made the biggest mistake of my life, one that shattered my family and may never be repaired. I trusted my daughter, my baby, and in doing so, I destroyed my brother's life. Back then, my daughter Lily was just 13. One night, she burst into my bedroom, crying so hard her words tumbled out in fragments. Through sobs and trembling hands, she told me something that made my heart stop. That her uncle, my brother Jake, had touched her inappropriately. I remember freezing in place. My brain went numb, and then I felt something primal take over: rage, terror, protectiveness. I didn't wait, I didn't ask questions, I just acted. The next day, at a family barbecue, I pulled Jake into the kitchen. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely form the words. When I confronted him, he looked confused at first, then horrified. He kept asking, "You really think I'd do that?" But I didn't care. I slapped him. I screamed at him to get out. I told him I was calling the police, and I did. My parents were stunned, trying to make sense of the chaos, but I wouldn't listen. My daughter said it, and that was enough for me. The weeks that followed were hell. Jake lost his job. His friends disappeared. Neighbors whispered. He couldn't go to the grocery store without someone staring. Even after the police launched a full investigation, no evidence came forward. Jake had a solid alibi, but it didn't matter. He was already convicted in the court of public opinion, and I stood behind Lily the entire time, believing every word she said. But then, 6 months later, Lily came to me again, crying harder than ever. This time it was guilt. Through trembling lips she admitted she had lied, that Jake had never touched her, that some older girls at school had encouraged her to say something that would get back at him after he scolded her during a family fight. I sat there in complete disbelief, like the air had been sucked out of the room. She was just a child, yes, but her words had caused irreversible damage, and I was the one who made it worse by acting without asking, without listening. Jake was eventually cleared, but his life had already crumbled. When I told him the truth had come out, he didn't yell, he didn't cry. He looked at me, hollow and calm, and simply said, "You believed her without ever talking to me." Then he walked away, and he's barely looked back since. 3 years later, he still won't speak to me. He won't even look at Lily. He moved to a quiet corner of the city, and every time I call, he reminds me he's recording the conversation. I don't blame him. Honestly, I wouldn't trust me either. Lily is 16 now. She's changed, quieter, more withdrawn. The lie she told at 13 haunts her. She goes to therapy, and while it's helped, the guilt never really leaves. She's lost friends. She's been bullied. She still wakes up crying some nights, haunted by that look on Jake's face when he found out what she did. She doesn't want a party for her birthday. All she wants is a chance to see Jake, to apologize face to face. So she wrote him a letter. It took her hours. She cried through most of it. She poured her heart onto that paper, how sorry she is, how she misses him, how she wishes she could take it all back. I read it, and my heart broke all over again. I called Jake. I tried to explain, told him how hard these years have been on Lily, how she was young and angry and under the influence of toxic friends, how the consequences destroyed her too. I begged him to at least consider showing up for her birthday, but he was unmoved, distant, cold. He told me that while he may have been cleared legally, he's still judged by people every day. He said he lost everything, his job, his reputation, his sense of safety, and that no letter or apology can undo that. And he's right. I've apologized 100 times, 1,000, but what I did, what I allowed to happen, can't be erased. I chose not to hear my brother out. I chose fury over facts. I let fear rule me, and in doing so, I destroyed him. I had to tell Lily that Jake wouldn't be coming. She nodded, wiped her tears, and said, "I understand." But I could see her hope flicker out. My parents have tried to mediate, tried to get Jake to forgive. Some relatives think he's being too harsh, that it's unfair to hold a grudge against a teenage girl. Others think he's right, that there are wounds no apology can heal. And me? I'm stuck in the middle. I love my daughter. I know she was manipulated. I know she suffered, but I also love my brother, and I destroyed him. And I don't know how to live with that. Jake wrote a response once, not to me, but anonymously on a forum. I know it was him. His words were cutting, but honest. He talked about how I didn't even ask her his side of the story, how Lily had always been manipulative and I had always enabled her. He described how he lost everything and how he refuses to play happy family now, just so we can feel better about ourselves. And I get it, I do. Still, every night I pray that someday he'll soften, that maybe time will make space for healing, that maybe if not now, then one day my daughter will get a chance to look him in the eyes and say, "I'm sorry." And maybe, just maybe, he'll believe her, because I know what it's like not to be believed, and I'll carry that with me forever. Thank you for watching this heartbreaking story. What would you do if you were in Jake's position, or the mother's? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this story and want more emotional, thought-provoking tales like this video and subscribe to Kindle Stories. We've got many more real-life journeys to share with you.